Welcome everybody, so new review for you guys today. We're talking about the latest installment in the long-running Toy Story franchise, Toy Story 4. Now, the latest entry in the Pixar series had me worried, not because the film looked bad at all, but it felt like the third Toy Story film wrapped up everything perfectly. It was the perfect closure. I mean, I just love these films. I mean, I actually just picked them all up in 4K, and they look beautiful, by the way. It just felt like it was time. Like, the way that it wrapped up was so perfect, and now, 9 years later, we're getting another one, which in a way I think is a good thing, because obviously they waited enough time to where they could actually develop a really good story for Toy Story 4 if they were going to bring back the series. And I think they did a really good job bringing this back, because it was already a great trilogy, and now it's a great quadrilogy. Even after the long time between Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 4, the magic is still there. You're still going to love going on these adventures with these characters, you know, Woody, Buzz, Jessie. There's so many characters in this film that, new and old, because there's a lot of really great new characters that I'll get to in a little bit. But it's just fun seeing them on another adventure again, especially in this new setting with Bonnie taking over because they're now Bonnie's toys and not Andy's toys. And just seeing the dynamic between how different the toys are with Bonnie as opposed they were with Andy in the first 3 films. It was really interesting, just trying to get a feel on how Bonnie is with these toys, and how they adjust to having a new owner and taking care of Bonnie. There are some elements of the film that really did surprise me going in because, first of all, I didn't expect this film to be as funny as it was because, of course, all of the Toy Story films have hilarious comedy in them, but this one, I think, may be the funniest of all 4, which was surprising going in. Many of the new characters are hilarious, especially Duke Kaboom and Forky. Forky, I expected going into this movie completely hating that character just because he seemed kind of annoying just based on the promotional material, but I ended up loving him by the end, and I feel like most audiences are as well. But he doesn't get all the comedy. Duke Kaboom is hilarious as well, played by Keanu Reeves masterfully. Keanu Reeves is having the greatest, couple months now with John Wick 3, Always Be My Maybe. He's also going to be in Cyberpunk 2077. So Duke Kaboom is a nice cap-off to all the Keanu Reeves we've seen lately. And not only that, but the 2 plushie toys played by Key and Peele, of all people. I think they are some of the biggest scene stealers. All these new toys are all delightful, and they have their charm, and they fit in perfectly with the franchise, and I'm sure we'll see more of them in the future. Some people, I think, will be disappointed by the lack of some of the older toys' appearance in the film because they do kind of get left behind because of the new characters. They still get their moments to shine, but definitely they focus more on the new character toys as opposed to many of the old classic ones that we're used to from the first 3 films. The other thing that surprised me is the horror elements, because I wasn't expecting as many horror elements going into this, but the dolls that are in this, these big dolls, they're horrifying. They look like that doll from Dead Silence, the main doll from Dead Silence. Very underrated James Wan film, highly recommend it, but they're so terrifying, and they're just dummies, so they're just walking around really creepily, because you're used to dummies, they have a hand inside them, so they actually move around and all that, but they're running around with no hand inside them, all weird. It's actually really surprising that they threw that in there, because this movie's rated G, and I think some kids are actually going to get scared because of those dolls, because they're creepy. Even there's one point in the movie where the one of the dolls surprises a human adult, and they scream like in horror, terror, and it's true. Those dolls are horrifying. Another huge praise I have to give, which is something I'm used to with Disney and Pixar in general, is just how phenomenal the visual effects are, because the dolls, I think this is the best visual effects that Pixar has put out to date, because the dolls and the setting, they all look so photorealistic that to the point it's scary now, especially some of the special effects with these scenes, especially there's a big segment in the very beginning where the dolls are in the rain. It looks so creepily real that, like, I don't know how visual effects could get any better than this when it comes to animated films. I think this is definitely a shoo-in for a nomination for Best Visual Effects at the Oscars, because it's scary how realistic that they've made this film with these dolls running around and doing crazy stuff. It's phenomenal. Well, I did go into this film skeptical where it was going to take the franchise and the future of it. I actually really liked the way that this film ended. Of course, it doesn't have the emotional finality of Toy Story 3, but it leaves it open-ended enough where I would really look forward to if they made a Toy Story 5 or 6 or whatever. It's not going to be the end. Of course, I really do want another one less than 10 years, 9-10 years, because I don't feel like waiting that long. Although if they keep making these as good as they are, even if I have to wait that long, I will still continue to go see them, because they're just really great films. As another great entry in the Toy Story franchise, one of the very rare franchises that make 4 really great films. There's not even been a really bad Toy Story film yet. All 4 of them have been phenomenal. I mean, all of them are just universally praised, and they deserve it because Pixar does a really great job with this series, and I think most people, adults and kids alike, are going to really enjoy Toy Story 4 when they see it later this week. So yeah, those are my quick thoughts on Toy Story 4. I highly recommend you go and check it out when you get a chance. It's one of the better films of 2019 so far, especially with how bad the summer blockbusters have been this year. This is a nice breath of fresh air after how so many disappointments. It's definitely up there as far as the best films of the year so far, but we're about halfway through the year, so there's still got 6 months left, but definitely top-notch Pixar. one of the best Pixar films, and probably one of the best Toy Story films as well. I haven't thought about it too much in depth yet. But let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think of Toy Story 4 when you see it? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you not like it? And out of all the new characters, let me know which one is your favorite in the comment section down below. Let's do a discussion going about Toy Story, because you know I like talking all things movies. But thanks so much for taking my video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a like, hit that subscribe button so you can update with my movie reviews, trailer reactions, rankings, unboxings, and more. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.